Okay, students, I would request you just give 2, 3 minutes. We have a lot of registrations. I don't want anyone to miss it, but I just want to understand how many parents do we have in the session. Okay, it is easier for us to address your questions. Raise of hand would be fantastic. Parents, if you have joined the session with the students, it would be nice if you can just raise your hand and let me know your presence so we know what would be the perspective we would be looking at. Okay, a lot of parents are there. All right, great, 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 great. Okay, I also want to understand, is there anybody here who is looking, with which city you all are joining from? Okay, because if I am Bangalore, I'm sure I'm expecting a lot of city, but it will be nice if you can let me know in the chat box which city we have students from. So we have students from Mumbai, Bangalore, Indore, Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Chandigarh. Oh wow, Rajkot. We have almost every city here. This is exciting. This is exciting. Satara as well, Delhi. I want to ask questions. Where are you all when there is a normal session going on? Bhilwara, Rajasthan, amazing. I am, sir, let me tell you, I am seeing cities which normally I don't see in the sessions, but it is absolutely, it is absolutely pleasure to see all of you being so excited. Absolutely, it kind of very, it's a happiness which is there clearly because you all are looking at a program which you all know would be a turning point. So I am very happy without any further ado, we would be starting this particular session. All your questions. Okay, there is a rule. Whoever attends my session, there is a rule we all follow. If there is a question, the question will go in the Q&A. I will ask all the questions to Suresh sir. We would with the time, we will make sure we pick up as many questions as we can. Don't put it in the chat box. It might get lost in the chat. Okay. All the questions in the Q&A. I have already a lot of questions which you have kind of given us in the YouTube and we will make sure we cover that as well. However, put your questions in the Q&A. We will cover as much as we can. All right. So without any further ado, let's start with the session. Good morning, everyone. This is Sanika Mate, your friend, your mentor and guide, welcoming everyone to the IMS session A to Z about the IIM Bangalore, the new UG program, which is called DBE, Digital Business in Entrepreneurship. Okay, and whom we have, I think, in certain statements we say कि नाम ही काफी है, but with this particular name being associated with the UG program, we have Professor Suresh Bhagatullah. He is a respected faculty member at the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, for the last 17 years, specializing in entrepreneurship and innovation. He combines research and practical insights to explore how social networks and social capital impact new businesses. At IIM Bangalore, Professor Bhagatullah teaches and mentors students, preparing them to become future business leaders. His research is well regarded with numerous publications in top journals. He is also actively involved in initiatives that support startups and entrepreneurs. He has done his master's from Flensburg University, Germany, and PhD from Vrije University, Amsterdam. Not only that, he ran 2 ventures before starting his PhD for one of the co-founders of the organization named TechStart. Professor Bhagwatullah's work and dedication make him a key figure in the IIM Bangalore, inspiring and guiding the next generation of entrepreneurs. It is absolutely an honor, Professor Bhagwatullah, hosting you for the IMS session, the A to Z session, which is something which I do so often, but I am right now overwhelmed and extremely excited to host you with a lot of questions from the students and parents community
Yeah.
and hopefully be able to cover all the questions. And I think I am Bangalore with the status which I am Bangalore has. People consider it that this would be the aspire that they dream of I am Bangalore. They coming up with a UG program. Clearly, you can see the excitement here. Now, what we wanted to understand about the UG program is that how IIM Bangalore UG, new UG program, which is an online program, which a lot of you must be knowing. How exactly it will be different from the IIT Madras program?
So first of all, I think thank you very, very much for such a kind introduction. Um, I would have been overwhelmed myself listening to what has been said, as in we put a lot out in our bios. Yeah, thanks for reading all of it out, but you didn't have to. Anyway, it's great to be here and talking to a lot of people. Um, the kind of interest that this program is generating seems to validate the basic assumption with which we started this program, that we need very good undergraduate programs, and then we need undergraduate programs irrespective of geography. So therefore, as you rightly said, yes, our assumption has been supported by the success of IIT Madras's program. We have been inspired by them. They have helped us through in a lot of our thought processes. We do reach out to them whenever we are in any form of quandary, not knowing what to do. So we quickly call up IIT Madras folks. They've been extremely helpful, very pioneering in the way in which the course is organized and ensuring that the quality doesn't come down. I think the important part is how do we leverage technology to create extremely capable freshers who don't have access to great education given the geography. So yes, we are inspired by IIT Madras. We would like to be as successful as them, having 30,000 people on our platform. But we are kind of modest. We thought we look at something very specific. We didn't want to have a very generic program. And one of the skill sets that we believe that the future is going to require is the ability to handle digital technologies. I don't think there is any industry currently which doesn't have a digital shadow on it. And it's only going to increase. Thanks to COVID, the consumption of digital media, accessing and leveraging digital technologies has gone through the roof. I go to rural areas these days. I started my career in entrepreneurship trying to set up women in rural areas. And now I go there and see them. They said, yeah, why don't you do a Google Meet? You don't have to come here for mentoring. We can do a Google Meet, right? So geography has become irrelevant. And therefore, we are at a nice fork in the road where we believe that should we go down the path of where we create a smaller and hard to enter kind of programs, or should we also experiment with programs that can deliver large numbers without really bringing down the quality of education? It is a little bit harder. It is not, I'm not saying that it's an easy medium. I think it's important for us to play around with the medium now because the future is going to be mostly digital. And therefore, we are looking at digital technologies. And we also feel a lot of jobs are going to be very entrepreneurial. We are not looking at entrepreneurship. So a little correction when you said this is BBA in digital business and entrepreneurship, not digital business in entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship would be too restricting. So it's and entrepreneurship. So primarily we are looking at training people who can join companies and help them with digital transformation or take part in the digital transformation. And the reason why we have included entrepreneurship, not because we would want all these students to set up ventures. Given the fact that I'm from entrepreneurship, I will be very happy if students set up ventures, but we do know that most of them should get experience, most of them should get jobs. So what do freshers do? They go into a company and then they get retrained. And there's a lot of cost involved in getting students trained. Parents are paying a lot of money. Students are spending a lot of time and effort trying to learn skill sets that may actually not be required by the industry. And the industry keeps saying that we need graduates with industry ready talent. So one of the industry readiness we believe is entrepreneurship, because a lot of future is going to be uncertain. And therefore, companies would want employees who can take ownership, who can take decisions, and who can take up jobs that do not have a history, that these are new. The knowledge that the company has may not be sufficient to help them in progressing that particular project. So entrepreneurial mindset is something that is very important, that we believe is going to be a capability to the future. It's a faculty that needs to be developed. It's slow, it's not easy, but we believe that we should start taking steps toward creating an entrepreneurial mindset amongst large number of people. So entrepreneurship and digital are the two new areas that we are looking at. Management is what we do, we have been doing for years. That is another pillar of this particular program. So yes, we are inspired by IIT Madras in terms of the way in which the program is structured a little bit. And we do take inspiration in terms of how they relentlessly make sure that the program quality is very high. They relentlessly make sure that students from far and wide do not feel helpless, and they have tutoring and mentoring in order to create a high quality set of people. But our content is mostly around digital business and entrepreneurship.
Digital business and entrepreneurship. The question would be around the intake of this particular program. And again, students are asking about online and offline. Can you give a little clarity to our students in regards with the intake and whether this particular program would be offline or online?
As things stand, it's a completely online program. And the reason we are looking at online is because most places have limitations of space, and because we are already bursting at our seams trying to increase one more section of MBA, and BBAs are much, much larger than the MBA program. So we don't have the kind of infrastructure that we have to take people in. But again, and I believe the inspiration from IIT Madras is that we can be entirely digital, given the fact that most students now are digital first. So I saw internet for the first time when I was way into my 20s, and most people now starting their life with a computer and a telephone, and kids know how to handle YouTube, and perhaps in a couple of years' time, they'll have their own personal AI pilot that will be with them as they grow up, right? So the ability to handle technology, especially digital technology, is very, very high, and they're very comfortable. They engage with people. So I think maybe 10 years ago, this would have been a very difficult program because people weren't very comfortable. They're not really digital ready. But I think now, given the fact that it is digital ready, we should leverage the fact and give high quality education at distance. So it is going to be online, but here's where I think it's going to be offline. So most of our content is going to be online, where you're going to interact with the machine. But we are also looking at creative ways in which we can create offline engagement for students to work on projects together. They could look at internships where they'll have to go and engage with the real world. I think the learning is going to come primarily between offline, which is with the institute, but a lot of concurrent and real life is where they start to work on projects, where they start to do internships, and exams are real. They are going to be in centers where people will have to go, right? So yeah, so yeah, that is another offline aspect of it. Yeah, that's where we are right now. I'm not saying things are not going to change. I don't think we will have to take things as we go along, but that's where we stand right now.
Great. So one question which actually we got from a lot of students and parents was the fact that how will this particular program be rated among corporates?
So the informal interactions that we have had with industry captains, both in startup world and in large corporates, they were welcoming a program like this because they do feel a lot of freshers that they take need to be trained in terms of technologies. Like, for instance, we join a hospital at an administrative level as a fresher. You have a lot of people have no idea how to leverage technology? How do you send an email? How do you, because a lot of courses don't really train you into how to handle these technologies. What do you do when you do social media? How do you create reels? How do you get brand? How do you engage with people? How do you ensure that information goes to all their customers in a timely manner? Right? Websites are bad, our online presence bad, online interactions are bad, and business cannot go forward in the future without understanding how to leverage digital technologies, right? So the future companies are those who understand technology very well, and those who do not understand technology very well will fall by the wayside. As I noticed during COVID, I worked with a lot of startups, and those startups that have already had a digital engagement in terms of understanding a good website, good Instagram page, been leveraging Zoom and various other digital technologies. Those who started had an incredible run during COVID, because because the world changed and they were ready for the changed world. And some others who were doing very well pre-COVID suddenly found themselves to be in a space where the entire landscape has changed. It's almost like they were moved from a garden into a desert, and they had to now start to flower, figure out where the water sources are, figure out where the plant sources are, and things like that for them to survive. And I've seen a lot of them actually couldn't survive as well, right? So I believe that technology is what they would like to engage with. So therefore, whoever we have spoken to, whoever we interacted with, have all been extremely what I would say, happy that we were thinking of a course like this. And many of them were even promising to send their existing people to train in some of the certificate and diploma. So one of the things that we promised to do, we're not going to have a placement like we do for MBA, but what we thought we should do is engage with the companies right from the beginning, like bring them as speakers, bring them as mentors, because it's important that industry realizes that there is a talent like this available for hiring. And there are lots of companies which are not in tech, which have to become tech. Like look at manufacturing. It will have to leverage operational technologies, sensors, IoT, just in time. Efficiencies will have to go up. So doesn't matter if you're a cement plant, you have to digitize. Doesn't matter if you're a milk plant, you have to digitize, right? So where are these jobs going to come from? Are they going to retrain everybody who's in their who's currently their employees? Are they going to look for those who are trained? So I see a great prospect if 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 students put in hard work, if students learn this technology, if students understand how to leverage technologies and interface with business, I think there is a huge market for that. Obviously, you'll have to take it with a pinch of salt because I'm the one who's designing this program. This is what I will tell. But whoever we did speak to was also excited because of the program, like the startups as well, right? Because a lot of them are digital first. They send their products abroad. They would want their employees to understand how to use technologies, right? And they were also pretty happy.
Absolutely. I mean, whatever you mentioned at this point in time, where the whole we are moving towards the digital era, it is some kind of very important for everyone to be kind of, literate in that particular sense. However, with this particular program, the students are right now kind of. I've got a lot of questions on YouTube as well. Something which I'm little finding it a little funny, but I will come to that particular question later. But I think the question which all of us, even asking in the Q&A box here, so is about the structure of the particular program. So the UG program, which would be online, and whatever you have mentioned, the way that the program is being designed, what exactly would be the structure and the curriculum, what students can look at?
So the broad structure of the courses is available on our website. But broadly, we have 3-year program. It can be done in 6 years as UGC has stipulated. All online courses can be taken at half the pace. So a 3-year course can be done in 6 years in case the students would like to take this as a secondary degree. But each year has 3 terms. And each term has, I think, about 13 credits, if I'm not wrong. And you need to complete these. So there is a little bit of leeway that we are going to give before you go to the next year. But these are, some are, so we have designed a course to ensure that there are some very tough courses, but we would also pair it up with slightly exciting courses and courses that may have to go and do some things outside, right? So it's not all boring. So some some which are number heavy, some which are practice heavy. We are pairing it up with courses where you're thinking of creativity, entrepreneurship, going and talking to people. So in a way, we're trying to balance out hard courses with a little bit of fun courses, just so that the tempo and the energy level of the students remain high throughout. But I can say that it's progressively going to also get difficult. As in first year is going to be a little bit funnish, but then as we go along, we would also have asked people, because doing entrepreneurial and working with entrepreneurs and doing entrepreneurial ventures is really fun and exciting, right? Very energetic. And doing it in a sandbox where this production of the institute is also very important. It doesn't matter whether they go set up a company outside, that's irrelevant. But the fact that you know what it is to do, to go talk to potential customers, figure out what to want, how do you now bring that back into business? I think those are all exciting parts. So balancing out rigor, toughness, and excitement. The program is rigorous. When I say rigorous, I don't mean it's hard. I just mean it's rigorous, that you need to put attention and put time. And it's not an easy course to go through that I'll just binge watch 2 days before the exam and then pass the exam. Well, I'm sure students are very, very clever, right? We faculty can think no end of ourselves, but students are even more insanely cleverer than us. They have ways in which they'll beat the system. No doubt about it. But we are trying our level best to ensure that learning happens, excitement happens, and then rigor also happens.
Fantastic. So, students who have been asking questions about the structure, about the curriculum, I hope you have got your answers here. Okay. My next question is related to the entrance test. Uh, if we understand correctly, there will be an entrance test, and the particular test would be on the lines of CUET. Okay. My question was, will the format would be of CUET and the difficulty level will be as similar to what our students prepare for the IPMAT and all, or we are looking at something which is lower or moderate?
So to give you a very honest answer, I don't know. Because I haven't seen the question. I haven't seen the questions. I'm not setting the question paper. But the idea is to be more inclusive. Like it's not like we're not an exclusive program. We don't want to create very high walls that only few people get in, right? Our idea is to create a program that is more inclusive than exclusive. So what is the question? So what is the entrance test? It's going to be looking at quantitative aptitude with data interpretation. We're going to look at verbal ability and reading comprehension, logical and analytical reasoning. This is a standard of all entrance tests, and we have a bit of general awareness as well. So is it going to be a tough exam? Here's what, right? Prepare as if it's a tough exam, and then if it is easy, good for you. If it is tough, you're prepared anyway. But I don't think the 60 questions, 90 minutes, it's not really very hard, but I think it'll be moderately difficult. It's not going to be very difficult like CAT or something like that, nor is it going to be easy. I'm just going to be some moderate level of difficulties, because we also would want to get in people who would be able to, because given the fact that we're not on campus, we're not interacting, we also would like students to have certain ability to do things on their own. Although we're saying that we wouldn't want to make it very exclusive, very hard, so that only a few set of people clear the exam. We just would like to ensure that there is certain level of numeracy, literacy, and ability to do things on their own, and confidence, right? So moderately difficult test, and what I've mentioned. I think we're going to open up a question paper maybe either today, tomorrow, or some the next couple of days. Not a mock test, but I think there are about 30, 40 questions that we have put out. So that's not how the question paper is going to be. The question paper is going to be 60 questions and 90 minutes. But these are kind of a flavor that you're going to get in terms of the questions that you're going to get, right? So
Uh, I think that was pretty clear. So students, prepare for the toughest paper.
no,
If
no,
it
no, no,
works
no, no,
well,
no, no, don't prepare too much of a tougher paper. Don't make their life too hard. They're already sweating as such, right? So one of the things that we were thinking was like, should we have another? So that's been the debate, right? Should we have one more test because students are already writing tons of tests. But then we realized that what if people don't, right? So it is also we are exploring. Could we look at a couple of other tests that we can take in addition? So we haven't come to a conclusion. So as things stand, it's going to be our own test. Maybe in coming years, we could also look at a couple of other tests that people can pass and join without having to give another test. But this year, I'm just saying this for this year. We may change that later. For this year, it's going to be entrance is only going to be through our test.
okay, okay. This would be something which I would be asking on behalf of the parents community. So as a parent, when I interact, me being parent myself, maximum of them would look out for a particular path, like if they complete this particular program, will this particular degree be accepted abroad as well, or this is something which would help them to take up another master's degree? Will that work along this lines, sir?
So I think initially we did think of creating our own DBE is what we thought, digital business and entrepreneurship should be the degree itself. But then we realized that while IIM has been bestowed the authority to give degrees, but it is best not to create new degrees, which is why we're calling it BBA, because a BBA is an accepted degree all over. And BBA is also a degree that most people understand. BBA is something that has been accepted world over. So which is why we decided to keep the nomenclature that is commonly used, and then we changed it to saying that it's a BBA in digital business and entrepreneurship. So given that this is a rigorous program set up by an institute of the stature of IIMB, which has the right to give degrees, we are among the top 3 NIRF in management, and we ensure that exams are hard enough and well, not really. Exams are rigorous enough. So therefore, I wouldn't see any issues with acceptance of this degree either for doing master's program or going abroad, because I think UGC has stipulated, if I'm not wrong, that we can't use online on the degrees. So it has to be BBA. So because if you don't use online, I think I see no reason why a course like this wouldn't be accepted by uh, institutes of, as in, would we accept somebody through CAT who has done BBA in IIMB? So yes. So if it's as far as I see no reason why others should say no.
Okay, so I think it's a very clear answer. So if you are kind of completing this 3 years, 4 years, then definitely this would be something which will help you to possibly give a catch, do your master's, India, abroad. It will be an acceptable degree. Now, for the students who would be enrolling for this particular program, sir, I'm sure a lot of questions what we are getting is about the campus immersive, or let's say, will there be certain days, because 1,000 students getting into the campus would be a little difficult, would be very difficult. But will there be, like this, the batch would be broken up, or would they be given like a 2 or 3 days to experience the IIMB campus? Are we looking at?
Um, as of now, no. But if students are super good, they are so engaging and super excited, then I can place this in front of the board that there should be ways in which we should socialize and bring them to campus. So as of now, no. Jokes apart. As of now, no. But are we against the thought? No, we're not entirely against the thought. It's just that we haven't thought through, because there's so many things that we're currently worrying about in terms of making sure our content is exciting, content is interesting, our exam goes well, we bring in our students. So there's so many things currently that we are worried about, that bringing students into the campus has not been something that we've discussed extensively, because they say it's a long way before we're even going to get to that decision. We just launched the program, the setting up the question papers, administering the test, starting term 1, and then see how things go. But I'm sure if things are all right, and if it is possible for us, we could certainly look at ways in which we could sensitize and bring students. IIT Madras does that during their summer holidays. Can't promise anything, but we certainly would like to do that, because it does change the perspective of the students. And we believe that having that experience would change students' mindset towards education, students' mindset towards completing the course. So yes, we will try hard to do so. But as things stand, we haven't planned that out until term 1. We're currently, our horizon right now is making sure all term 1 entrance goes and students come in and they find the course exciting, right? So that to us is a more important thing, that students feel excited and engaged with the program. And if they are engaged and if they are high energy, I see no reason why one shouldn't look at least since bringing them, as you rightly said, in parts or something like that. Sometime later, year 2 or something like that. Definitely, one could consider that.
So this can be, in the thoughts later on in the next two, the coming years. But there's something which our YouTube user is actually asking. He's saying, but with the online program, there is a lot of conversation which is going around the atmosphere, the college atmosphere. Uh, are we comfortable imagining studying for 4 years inside walls? I hope they consider shifting to offline mode after a while, because the college atmosphere, according to what students are saying, that it's crucial. What are your views on that, sir?
So one of the reasons why we thought of a program like this is that there are a lot of young, capable people who are across the country in very difficult to reach locations, and they don't have access to quality education. They signed up for a UG program in a college in their neighborhood because whatever be the reasons that they can't really travel, and they don't have access to great education. So I think fundamentally one of the things that we are looking at is giving high quality education to people who do not have access to high quality education, who are sitting in locations which are very difficult for them to move away from for various reasons. So this is going to be an online program. This is always going to be an online program because we believe that it has to be experimented upon, and we have to come up with ways. Maybe will it morph into a hybrid program later? I don't know. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Will it be completely offline? It will not be completely offline, at least not this program. We do have a newer campus coming up where we're looking at a 4-year undergrad, which is different, but that's a different school, that's a different entity, that's a different exam, and that's a different curriculum. And therefore, that's a different space altogether. So the thing that I'm excited about in this particular program is, yes, we should experiment leveraging technologies to educate people at a distance. I'm also expecting a lot of students to be signed up in colleges in their neighborhood, so there's a lot of socializing happening there. Sometimes I do feel this socializing is taken to a slightly different level because I did study, I did go to colleges. We do know how socializing works there, but but we will try to ensure there is certain level of socialization that happens to this program, to our entrepreneurs, to the industry, so that the capability that they're going to get through those interactions is mostly perspective capability related. So is this a program we're going to sit in college canteen and listen to Bollywood songs and feel good? Certainly not. Certainly not. While I'm not saying that that doesn't build character, it does definitely build character. There's a lot that I learned in canteen as much as I learned in my classrooms. But this program will not do that on campus, will not be able to do on campus, because we're looking at a slightly different cohort, a different kind of learnings that we would want to give. Not taking away the socializing aspect. We'll do it differently. We'll do it differently. We'll do it a little more professionally, right? There are lots of, we have thousands of women entrepreneurs. We have hundreds of family businesses. So socializing is going to be through people who are in the program and with some of the industry captains and with entrepreneurs and people in their region. And maybe we could also do lots of local events that they could participate and do, right? So different way in which one need to look at engagement. Maybe that's all that I have right now. And as I do more of this program, I'll figure out how ways in which we could socialize the students.
Fantastic. I think a lot of you must have got, I mean, and when I'm looking at the questions are somehow on the similar lines. Okay. But there's some question which I'm getting, which is on the lines of IPM. This is something which is a question that is IIMB planning to come up with an IPM program?
IPM is 5-year integrated undergrad program. No.
Absolutely. No.
Not that I know of. I'm not saying that will it change in the coming years. I can only tell what we have right now. No. So the two focus areas that we currently have is this BBA, which is online, and there's going to be a new multidisciplinary campus that's going to come a little later. It's just about started. Maybe 25 is when we're going to see. But that's a completely different program with a different content, and that's a 4-year undergrad program, which is on campus, sorry.
So there's a question which I'm getting again from a student who is asking about, will IIM Bangalore support students when it comes to placement? And what will be the alumni status what the student would get? Or is there an alumni status?
Yes, definitely. There would be some form of alumni status for sure. Not for those who exit after year 1, not for those who exit in year 2, definitely for those who exit in year 3 with a degree. Right? So hang on and then you finish your degree program. Yes, it is alumni status that you're going to get. And in terms of placements, as I told you all, we will ensure that they would be connected to the industry. So given how desperate industry is for talented youngsters who can do things, hit the ground running, I definitely don't think it would be difficult placing students if they have done the program well, if they have done fairly well in all the courses. I don't see any reason why the industry wouldn't want to have them on their payrolls.
That's something which is very interesting here. Now, moving back, I think I have picked up few questions because a lot of questions are very similar. I want to get into the practicality of the program because right now I very well know, as I have sent them the application link, people have already started preparing for filling the application. So when they are applying for the entrance test, would they be looking at something like an entrance test, a personal interview?
No.
Would they be considering no
personal interview?
Okay. I think a lot of them would be taking a sigh of relief.
Yes, no, certainly not. As I told you, our idea is to make it more inclusive. We can change the numbers as we go along. Once we get confidence that we would be able to, IIT Madras is super confident. They have started stepping out and hitting the ball for a six. They have like 30,000 people. Just the thought itself is stressful for me to have handled 30,000 students. So we're starting with baby steps. No entrance test. No, what did you say? Personal interview. No personal interview.
Uh, so again, asking on a practicality, I am kind of just putting myself that if I am going for this particular program and possibly one of my student going, if I'm doing my normal college, enrolled in a normal college, what is the weekly hours will I, as a student, have to put in who is possibly, let's say, pursuing a BCom or a BBA or a BA? What exactly would be the weekly hours? How often the classes would be held? Can you give a little information around that?
So we have two kinds of courses, 1.5 credit courses and 3 credit courses. So 1.5 credit courses will have 4 weeks of 4-week duration, and they have and 3 credits will be 8 weeks in duration. And the content and the rigor is same for all. So we have a 3-hour videos per week that they have to watch, and they may have to read about 1.5 hours, and there could be 30-minute quiz max, right? So about 4.5 hours a week. If they dedicate, more than enough, more than enough.
More than enough.
And
Okay,
then
so
we also plan to have weekly live sessions with mentors. We will also have weekly live sessions with our teaching assistants. We would also have live sessions with our program administrative staff, so that in case they have any difficulties with engaging in discussion boards or submission or whatever, right? So we will have open office hours which are live, where students can join. But unlike entire online, we also have, if it's a 3 credit course, 2 live sessions by the faculty where the students can interact with the faculty real time. So the person who taught you, you could write questions, they're going to interact, they have a session which is completely live. So one session if it is a 1.5 credit, and 2 sessions if it's a 3 credit course, in addition to other live sessions that we may have, which could be industry captains, which could be entrepreneurs, right? Those are all extra. But teaching assistants and mentoring will be live at multiple times, so that it can be taken up by students who have doubts. Our program will always be for tech help 24/7, but we'll also have live sessions where people can talk and ask. And faculty will have some live sessions as well, depending upon what kind of credits, 1.5 credit or a 3 credit course.
So this is something which definitely is a doable program, which a student doing a BCom or a BA or a BSc degree if they go with. But something out of curiosity, I would want to ask you. Is this something which would be having a age bracket? Will this something which would come with eligibility criteria where a student has, see, 12 pass is something as an HSC or a 12, 10 plus 2 is a criteria, what is very clear. But can a person have holding a degree can apply? Because a lot of BCom degree holders would look at doing something.
So I
I don't
think
know.
I think that's actually not a bad idea. So even if they, let's say, have a job that they currently have after the BCom, joined in as a small accountant in a firm, and they would like to have a degree to augment their skill set and their career prospects, definitely. So we are not looking at an age gap. IIT Madras has, I think, people who retired joined just like that because they're 60 and they don't know what to do. And they thought data analytics is a good thing to go and join and then learn. And we Indians are very curious and we always have this learning mindset. So yes, while the program has been designed for 17 to 20-year-olds in mind, but we thought we should have a primary audience. We can't have different audiences. So primary audience are young people who want a degree program, young people who want skill sets, yeah, which are very contemporary, and young people who are looking to have a career, right? But doesn't mean that we're stopping others. Um, they're welcome to join. And I don't think the workload is so high that they will stress out. Some, like accounting or analytics, or if it is something around digital, that if you have to learn how to make a website, or start to understand how to leverage social media, or understand how social SEO marketing works, right? So there's some which may take effort and time, but some a little bit fun, like a 250 rupee venture. What do you do? So I don't think it would be that rigorous that they can't do the job, and this just have to be disciplined.
Okay, great. So I think this kind of answers a lot of your questions, you know. I think it's broadly answered. One more question which I'm getting here, and the question is, sir, is there any kind of difference between the IPMAT indoor first 3-year program and IIM Bangalore UG program? How will you assess us for award with the completion on degree?
What? So first of all, I don't know the IP Max of Indore. Um, I can only say that we have put a lot of thought into this program in terms of the curriculum, the number of times that we had to make presentations to the board, to the faculty members, who were looking very closely at the kind of content and the curriculum that we were trying to develop. So I would say that this is a fairly unique program. Go off and say, like, a little bit entrepreneurial in its outreach, to say that we should train our people differently in different set of content, right? So from a content point of view, I'm not aware of the other programs, other institute programs. I just steady fast focused on this program and looked at it more like a blank canvas and started filling in things that we feel is required, because we did talk to industry captains, we did talk to uh, uh, um, investors, we did talk to entrepreneurs in order to figure out what is it that they want. But having said that, the other thing with online is that if we need to change any program, if we feel some other program is required, I think we could still definitely look at it, as in change the curriculum a bit, saying that, okay, students want a little extension of this particular. I think given the fact that it is very flexible, we should always make it contemporary all the time, right? So if industry wants us to do something else, I'm sure we could definitely take it up and offer it as an elective, to ensure that there is always a very contemporary focus for this particular program.
Fantastic. I think I hope the user who is kind of listening to this must have got the answer. There are questions again coming back to the entrance exam. Are we expecting the entrance exam on an online mode or on an offline mode?
All exams are offline.
All exams are offline, even the so there will be proper
I,
center.
I wouldn't trust our Indian students with online exams. They are so clever. They're so clever. They'll beat any technology. As Elon Musk is saying, anything can be hackable, right? So especially Indian students, they have a knack for being so clever. Uh, so if I had my way, I would put paper and pencil and then make them write, because that's the only way I know how it'll work. But these will be done in centers across. So the centers and all would be up. The information is up. The application would have which center you can choose. So we have 2 dates for the exam, and then we have a bunch of centers. So you'll have to travel to the centers to give, but there should be a center not very far from you. So it's not an online thing done um, at home. It is an online thing, but it's done at the center,
At the center.
which
Okay,
TCS is helping us organize.
absolutely. Fantastic. Now, this is something which I want to ask. I know a lot of students would kind of raise hand if I actually ask them. Maths is something which is a pain area for a lot of students. And if I actually ask the question, I would have everybody, I call myself mathematically challenged. Okay. So the students who would be not really good with maths, do you really think those students can kind of appear or can prepare, or was it would be something which would be crackable by them?
Look, I don't look, maths is arithmetic, right? At the end of the day, what we're doing is like addition, subtraction. Like we're not looking at differential equations and something that I would be very scared of myself. But it's basic, basic understanding of numbers and numeracy and ability. So I don't think it should be difficult. Just spend some time, look at our questions that we will be putting up. The difficulty level would be quite similar. Practice a bit, and I don't think it should be too difficult.
Okay. And which
Let's see how
can
things go this year. Like, let's see how things go this year. Maybe it is too easy, maybe it is too tough. Maybe I don't know, because first step is always, and we'll so the thing is that we promise to take corrective actions in case we feel something is not going right. So, but that we can only know once we take a step and see where we are going. So as things stand, there has to be a little bit of understanding of maths, but it's not really very hard maths. So, but I don't think you should kick your heels and say that I'm going to go without preparation. So do some preparation and brush up your maths a bit.
fantastic. So do not lose heart. There would be opportunities for
From an
everyone.
eligibility point of view, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have maths, that's fine. You could join. But we would want some levels of math skills. Anyway, this is relative, right? So hopefully you just hope that others haven't done well in maths as well if you haven't done well.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I used to pray. Coming to a very there's one question which I'm getting on YouTube. I just kind of changed my screen. So there's something about the IIM Bangalore jacket.
They want. I'm
Somebody
quite surprised. I'm quite surprised that I did a session with somebody else the other day, and the first question was like, "Would we get hoodies?" And I don't know. Actually, I have no idea. I've never bought one. I don't own one. If somebody gives me free, I use it. But I see no reason why it shouldn't be. No, I really don't know. I'm just thinking hard. Why is it even a question? So is
I
it? So I'm suddenly thinking, is it a trick question? Should I say yes? Should I not say yes? If I say yes, will I get into trouble? Because people are going to hold me to it, saying that you said when you gave this test open session. So I would leave it at actually makes sense. I see no reason why you shouldn't. If IMB hoodies are really well designed and well good, maybe our students, our PGP students will be happy to sell more. Or I think we should actually start our own, start BBA, DBE hoodies. Somebody could have this venture. So I don't know. I'm not against it. I probably need to find out more, given how important this question seemed to be to young people. That would I get a hoodie? I will do my homework and get back on this, but I see no reason why it shouldn't be.
but one thing must say that IMB hoodie is pretty famous. People want to know if they can get one.
Yes, I look at it differently. I thought it was always. I was never impressed with it. I'm still not impressed, but maybe kids are. So I don't know. I'm not in the age bracket.
Uh, there is a question a student is asking, moving on, that I have a question, ma'am. Recently, IIM Bangalore has updated their website, and the headline was New Campus Undergraduate Program under the umbrella of School of Multidisciplinary Studies. What does this suggest? I think they are talking about the 2025 program,
Yeah, that's
which
what we're
I
looking at, right? So we are building, we require a lot of so building a campus requires a lot of resources, and then we are looking at the ways in which we're going to align these resources and build that center because we are interested in undergraduate education, and we feel that there is a need to have high quality undergraduate education, both online and offline, right? Because not everybody can make it to campus. The fee structures are going to be different. The entrance is going to be different. If there is anything else which can be more inclusive, which is the online program. So that is a different entity. which require lots of resources, which require time. Optimistically speaking, I hope they start next year, given how much the conversation in the ecosystem are that lots of people have been asking me about this other campus that we want to start, right? So as of now, we require money. So if any youngster here would like to donate a significant chunk of money, wealthy people, please contact IIMB. We are looking to
Parents,
bring
I hope you are listening to this kind of
parents, yes.
thing.
So yes, so hopefully, but we don't need all the money upfront, right? So we are. The other thing which happened was there was some kind of an environmental issue. We had to change our design completely, and that brought us back almost a year and a half, right? So something which didn't go our way. Otherwise, we would have probably started this year. So we had gone back to drawing board, relooked at the designs, and then because a complete design had to be scrapped because of the change in the governmental laws. Right? So yeah, hopefully it'll start next year, and that's a completely different program. Yeah, institute will probably set out once things are in place, people will know.
Once things are in place, people will know.
Yeah.
And let me take one last question. I want to respect time, so we will just take one last question. I have 152 questions in Q&A.
Oh wow.
I have.
So maybe here's what we can do. If you could just copy it and send it to our email ID, we could look for we could answer any of the questions that have not been answered on our FAQ. Most of these questions would be on our FAQ on our website. But if there is any question that which is not there in FAQ, we will answer and update it. So if you could just send it to copy and then send it to, we'll be happy to answer all of these. And students can also write directly to DBE admissions at IIMB, and we're more than happy to answer these.
All right. I am just making sure that this particular email address is there on the chat box. Everybody copy it. I have also pasted the application link a while back. In case if you guys have joined a little later on, please make sure you go back in the chat box. There is an application link. You would be able to apply through that particular link. Okay. Now, for the last question, I will be definitely sharing the questions with you, sir. Now, closing it with the last question, let me see that particular question if we have not really answered anything.
Something around the fee. The fee is about 4.5 across 3 years, and 4.5 lakhs across 3 years. The fees will be paid term wise, and in case you don't want to complete, there'll be a small fee for keeping the status to say that I want to take a year break. Then you may have to pay a little bit of a fee to keep continuing as a student. If you flunk the exam and you want to retake it, you'll have to pay a bit for it. So the exam, so one test is included in the fee. And as far as books go, for the curriculum, we may not want to look at physical books. We may suggest a physical book that some of these people may want to buy, but hopefully we will be able to provide all electronic resources, keeping in mind with sustainability as well. But that you could watch videos. So I think online can actually be very, very creative and interesting, because you could make it much more different and from classroom, as we have been teaching all along, right? So could be videos, could be reading, could be podcasts, could be interviews, lots of ways in which it can be done. So one exam will be part of the fee. If you flunk, you pay again, and not too much, but I guess a little bit. Term-wise fee, what else? That's it.
That's it.
And hoodies will not be given as part of the fee. I don't think so. Yeah, but maybe I'll ask. Maybe it's a good thought. Yeah.
Fantastic. So with this, I think respecting time, I would be a lot of you who have joined later on missed. Just to give you a little summarization of the program before we end our session. This particular program, which a new launch program with IIM Bangalore, which is called Digital Business in Digital Business and
And
entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. Okay, correcting myself here. This is going to be a 3-year online program with an intake of 1,000 students. The application is already started. The link is given. A lot of you are not able to click it. I don't know what's the issue, but you would be able to get this particular link if you just type IIMB DBE. When you just type this, Google will actually give you this as the first option. You would be able to apply from there. There will be an entrance test which would be offline. The test would be online. However, you will have to go to a center to give this particular entrance test. Okay, so the applications are on. When it comes to the rest of questions, in case if it's not been asked, we will make sure it is something which has been answered and being sent across to all of you who have registered with us. The whole transcript would be sent in regards with the questions. Okay, and
So the test 2 dates, I think once you start applying, you will come to know what are the 2 dates. It's in August.
okay, so the entrance test will be sometime in the August. And when they can expect the session to start, sir?
15th September.
Oh, the date is already there. The 15th
Yes.
September is when the
Yeah, yeah,
session
yeah,
starts.
yeah, yeah. Classes will
Fantastic.
start.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, all of you, in case if you are looking at enrolling yourself in a college, BA, BCom, BSc, it is a degree which you would be able to simultaneously pursue with your ongoing degree. Okay, so in case of looking at applying, go ahead, go ahead and apply. In case if you need any support, please make sure you connect with IMS. We would be more than happy to help you. And just want to take this opportunity, Suresh, thank you so much for
You're
taking out
welcome.
time and giving us so much information about the program. I'm sure you will have a lot of work right now, considering the application must be pouring in. And with the information what you have provided, we will make sure the students are connected with you. Or if I have a question, I will definitely bother you.
Thanks a lot. Definitely, definitely. And thank you very much for doing this. Wonderfully done. And thank you for putting this together because I think it's very important that we do sessions like this so that the questions can be answered immediately. Because I don't think there would be a lot of issues next year because things are already in place by then and there is a history and people can learn from the history, right? The minute we finish our entrance test, I think we can put up a question ahead so that people know what next year's test is going to be. It's all, I guess, because of first year. And thank you very much for helping us connect to the students. Thank you.
It was a pleasure, sir. It was
Yeah,
absolutely pleasure and honor to host you and to speak with you. Thank you so much.
you're
And you
welcome.
have
So,
a lovely day. Thank you.
thank you very much. Thank you. Nice talking to you as well. Bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, students, I hope this was helpful. A quick raise of hand would be fine. Was it helpful? Was it not? It was helpful. I am so glad. In case if you guys need any support with the entrance test, in case if you guys need any support which is related to, the paper pattern in terms of the program related information, please make sure you are connecting with IMS India website. We will be more than happy to support you. All right. With this,